We're always told that total transparency is the key to a great relationship, right? But what if that's not the whole story? What if the secret to a stronger partnership was being a little more selective? Today, we're diving into a fascinating philosophy for women that argues what you don't say to your partner can be just as important as what you do. And this quote from Alina Chamberlain really sets the stage. It's a pretty bold idea, isn't it? The modern myth of total transparency. I mean, we're taught to share every little thing, every grievance. But this framework asks, what if that oversharing actually chips away at desire and respect? It's all about taking a much more strategic approach to how we communicate. So, here's our game plan. First, we'll tackle this so-called transparency myth. Then, we'll look at the different circles of communication, your social circle, a professional one, and of course, how you talk to your partner. And we'll wrap up by getting to the heart of why this all supposedly matters. All right, let's get into it. The first big idea is that this philosophy sees the woman as the chief communications officer of the relationship. Think of it like a leadership role, where you're strategically managing what comes in and what goes out, all to keep the partnership healthy and strong. So what does being a chief communications officer actually mean in practice? It means you're making a conscious choice about where information goes. You're filtering. Some things, they go to your partner. But a lot of the day-to-day stuff, this framework says it's better to send that to other places, other circles. And the whole point is to make sure your relationship is a source of inspiration, not just the dumping ground for every little problem. Okay, so let's talk about that first external circle, your social circle. We're talking friends, family, your support system. Now, these people are obviously super important, but this framework says you have to be really careful here. There are some hidden dangers if you're not. And here are some of those big risks. First, there's what the author calls the trap of long-term memory. Think about it. You and your partner have a fight, you make up, you move on. But your mom, your best friend, they might not forget so easily. They can hold on to that grudge forever. And then there's the idea that some topics are just in the wrong forum. Super personal, deep-seated issues. Maybe your sister isn't the best person to unpack that with. That's what professionals are for.
This chart lays it out so clearly. On one side, you've got the safe stuff. Hair salons, vacation plans, fashion, the fun, light topics for connection. But on the other side, that's the danger zone. Things like bedroom problems or deep grievances, anything that basically puts your man on trial in front of your friends and family. The whole point is learning to tell the difference between venting that connects and complaining that damages.
All right, moving on to the next circle. This one isn't about emotional venting at all. It's all about being smart and efficient. We're talking about the professional circle, where the big idea is to outsource certain things. It's framed as a seriously high-value strategy for your relationship. So what kind of stuff should you outsource? Well, think about minor health details. The framework suggests keeping those routine check-in reports for your doctor, to avoid turning your partner into your nurse. And then there's the big one, home maintenance. Instead of nagging him for weeks to fix that leaky faucet, just call a plumber. The goal here is to protect his energy and, frankly, your time for what really matters between you two. I love this trousers analogy. It's so simple. A man doesn't expect you to be a master tailor and sew his suits, right? He goes to a pro. So why should he be expected to be a master plumber? It's about extending that same grace. Hiring help isn't a sign of his failure. It's just smart, practical management. Okay, so we've offloaded stuff to our friends and to professionals. So, what's left to talk about with our partner? This is the crucial part. It's all about how to communicate inside that inner circle to make it way more effective and, honestly, more respectful. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you have the ineffective demand. Where should we send the kid to school? It just drops a huge, stressful problem in his lap. But look at the right, the effective consultation. Hey, I've already researched 3 schools, and I really like this one. Could you maybe ask your colleagues for their opinion on it? See the change? You've done the work, you've presented options, and you've given him a clear, valuable role. You're treating him like a consultant, not an employee. And what about that leaky faucet scenario? What happens when you hire the plumber and he comes home and sees it's fixed? Well, this framework has a very specific and pretty graceful script. The key is, no, I told you so. No, see, I just did it myself. Instead, you frame it as a gift to him. Honey, I saw how wiped out you were from work, and I didn't want to add one more thing to your plate, so I just had it handled. It solves the problem and makes him feel cared for. It's a total win-win. So you might be thinking, okay, this sounds like a lot of work. Filtering, redirecting, outsourcing. Why? What's the ultimate point of all this strategic communication? Well, the entire system is designed to protect one core thing:
And this is the big idea, the place of power. This is the term the author uses for a man's psychological space. It's the headspace where he feels respected, where he feels confident, and where he feels protected from constant negativity. The argument is that when a man is in that place of power, because he isn't being bogged down by minor issues or feeling judged, that's when he can truly focus his best energy on providing for you and inspiring you.
So to wrap up the why behind it all, these are the main goals. It's about protecting that place of power. It's about shifting your relationship from being about mundane irritation to mutual inspiration. It's about making sure your interactions are high value, and really, it's about keeping the courtroom and the doctor's office out of the bedroom.
Which brings us to the big question for you to think about. Is this kind of selective communication a brilliant strategy for modern love? A way to really build respect and keep the passion alive? Or is it a throwback to outdated relationship roles that just don't fit our world today? Something to chew on.
Discover the secrets to nurturing your lifestyle and love style at wishforlove.org.